Hey friends, welcome back to Tech Scripted. Harsimrat here, and this is episode 2 of my enterprise agentic agent development series using .NET. Okay, in episode 1, if you remember, I had built clean architecture foundations with repository patterns initialized with basic infrastructure. I had already constituted. So today I'm taking it to the next level because I had already implemented the entity framework core configurations using Fluent API. The GitHub code I had updated in the episode 2 in a new branch which I had created. So you can access that, you can clone the repo and use that. And in this, you will find migrations that are there at the root level. I had put a file there. You can run those migrations and also it will do the seeding part. Okay. And with this, I have now the advanced repository features that are supercharging my data layer. So in this, you will find specification patterns which I had implemented for using the flexible queries, and pagination I had added already, caching is already implemented, and other enterprise features are ready. In most of the cases where I'm using a cached repository and implementing the advanced repository patterns and decorator pattern, discussing about the lambda expression tree, and on the other side I have a function pointer that are delegates. So suppose you have a base code with you are already working on, or you started in some other organization where you already have a base code. Normally this scenario happens, yeah, when you are working on some, like with the code I had shown you in the cached repository or in my decorator patterns here, or in the specification pattern. So how you will identify that whether you have to use the expression trees while you are writing your new module, so expression trees, or while you will be using delegates, or what I call function pointers. Okay, so iCurable is using the expression trees, and where for IEnumerable generic type we can use func like that. Okay, you must have used it. But now, identifying the scenario when you have the base code in front of you, can you make a decision at the first look how you will make? So there are many things like iQueryable generic type is a deferred execution. So no DB query happens until you do the to list or count, etc. All these functions you have to use any method out of these. Or in case of IEnumerable generic type, it is immediate execution where it start running in memory. So this is the first clue. Okay. So now parallelly you can think like that now I'm asking you the question. Now you can parallelly think, if you got the real answer in your mind, this is something. Okay. So after this, when we use the to list or something like that, yeah, so it becomes in memory. After this point we use function pointer using the func. Okay. So one more way is that how the base code will give you clue on this. So when you search on these keywords in your base code, like db context or set generic or from sql raw or from dot list async, so all these are db backed and they are using the expression trees behind the scenes. The other thing, when it is coming to in memory, it is either the memory cache dot get or only list, like not to list, it is list or as enumerable. Especially when it comes to as enumerable, then it means in memory, and behind the scenes it is using the function pointers, not the expression tree. And now with this, now you are able to make it out that is data coming from entity framework or db. Yes, when it is yes, when it is using the expression tree. Okay, so is the data already materialized in memory? For that, func is used. Are you operating on iQueryable generic type? If that is the case, then expression you can use. Okay, just one more time I'm telling the same thing. So if you see iQueryable generic types mentioned in your code, then you can easily think I can use the expression tree. And if it is operating on list generic types or enumerable or array, then you need to use func as a function pointers. You can use that. Okay. Suppose you are querying directly on DB set, that is SQL. So then, so now guys, if you see my solution explorer, just I'm sharing it now. I think you're able to see my solution explorer here. So in this, I'm showing the core abstractions where I'm implementing specification patterns here. Currently, I have iSpecification.cs file in which this is my interface for specification pattern. Okay. And then all the specifications I have under this specification directory, and where for documents I would have made one file also for all the documents, but I had kept as per the functionality of each module. Like suppose here the document search specification is there, so basically I had made a separate for that, because tomorrow I may have to extend this functionality further, because while we will be implementing the agentic agent in my .NET series, so that time we may require additional functionality for any search criteria or any different way of searching the documents based on the document types. So based on that criteria, this search will work. Okay. So that's why I'm making such provision, so that tomorrow if such functionality should come, so this will be extended accordingly, and it should not impact the other features. I have the base implementation in my base specification, because they are implementing those base specifications here. Yeah. And enums are here. As you can see, my document type can be document, template, or report, presentation, spreadsheet, email. From email also I can fetch, from contract also, like that. So this is something which I had planned for. And document repository, I have not shown you, I guess. So this is the way I had implemented the document repository. Get by type async method I had made, get recent document async. So all this I have here, the configuration part also, document analysis configuration. So how the DI registration is happening, it is there in my program.cs file, doing the dependency injection registration here. And coming down to the unit of work is for transaction management actually. So those who have not seen, they can revisit the first episode and check it out. And this is where I'm implementing the Fluent API configuration in the document configuration. Okay. One more thing, like here I had upgraded my repository features with pagination support, as you can see in the generic repository. Okay. And bulk operations I had implemented here with methods like execute update async, execute delete async for bulk deletes and efficient updates, and also included the support for eager loading with include. I'm also using async enumerable here for streaming large data set and for memory efficiency. So now coming on to the common issues which are there in migrations. So I had done the database migration, and in this part, so I can tell you what exactly maybe the issues which you may encounter. Okay. So in database migrations, some common issues, like in case you feel like there is no migration configuration type was found, so then this is a command you can run, and here it will do the add migration part for the initial create using the infrastructure project. Another issue which can happen is cannot insert null into the column. So this happened to me many times while I was developing this. So at that time, what I made was I made it as a nullable property. So you can also ensure that in case you encounter such scenario, then you also make it as nullable property. Okay. So another case scenario can be if you find issue where it says model has pending changes. So yeah, at that time you can run this command add migration update model. Then then another command for updating the database. So these two commands you can run. So here I am actually wiring up everything together in program.cs file with proper dependency injection. Okay.